Welcome to today's deep dive. You can buy an HDMI adapter at the drugstore for like 10 bucks.
Hmm.
So why does the AJA HA5-4K Mini Converter, which is roughly the size of a deck of cards, cost almost $900?
Yeah, it's a pretty massive jump in price.
Right. And our mission today for you, the listener, is uncovering the surprising power behind this seemingly simple piece of hardware. It really all starts with this huge language barrier between consumer and pro gear.
Exactly. I mean, consumer cameras, even the really high-end ones, they output video via HDMI, but HDMI cables are notoriously fragile. They fall out pretty easily.
And they lose signal if you run them over a long distance, which...
Right, which professional broadcast workflows absolutely cannot afford. A dropped signal is a disaster. That's why the big leagues use SDI or serial digital interface.
Okay, so SDI is the pro standard.
Yeah, because it uses these rugged coaxial cables that literally lock into place. You can run high-definition video over hundreds of feet without it degrading at all.
But the problem is you can't just plug an HDMI consumer camera directly into an SDI broadcast truck. The data actually needs to be translated.
Exactly. They speak totally different languages.
I was thinking of it like a high-speed, real-time UN translator. You know, just bridging the gap between a standard DSLR and a Hollywood control room.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy. Because it's not just passively changing the physical shape of the plug, it's actively converting a full 4K HDMI input into a professional quad-link 3G SDI output.
Wait, okay, let me play devil's advocate here. Translation's hard, sure. But $865? I'm struggling to see where all that money is actually going for just an adapter.
Well, the price tag starts making a lot more sense when you look at the sheer volume of data it's handling. Pushing uncompressed 4K video at 60 frames per second is just, it's way too much data to force down a single standard SDI cable.
Oh, so this is doing some pretty heavy computational lifting then.
Very heavy. It acts like a computational traffic cop. It flawlessly slices that massive 4K signal and distributes it across 4 separate SDI cables all at the exact same time.
So it's performing this real-time data splitting just to keep the frame rate smooth. That explains a lot of the cost.
Yeah.
And looking at the specs, it's also auto-sensing incoming resolutions, right?
Yeah, so if a camera operator suddenly switches their camera from, say, cinematic 4K down to standard HD, the converter instantly detects that change and conforms the output to strict pro standards.
Which is vital because in a live multi-camera broadcast, you obviously can't just pause the show while the control room recalibrates to a new resolution.
Exactly. But all that intense real-time processing introduces another huge engineering hurdle, which is latency.
Right.
If the converter takes even a few extra milliseconds to, interpret, slice, and route that high-res video, it's going to arrive at the broadcast truck slightly after the audio does.
Which causes audio drift. Translation is great, but what if the lips don't match the words? The video could look beautiful, but if the sync is off, the entire feed is basically unusable.
Yeah, it's a total deal breaker.
So how does a tiny box intercept that delay?
Well, it solves the drift by handling the audio internally right alongside the video. It can actually pull up to 8 separate channels of embedded audio directly from that incoming HDMI cord.
8 channels.
Yeah.
Just pulling them straight from the source.
Yeah, and it actively embeds them right into the outgoing SDI video signal. It packages them all together after the translation, ensuring perfect synchronization from the camera lens all the way to the truck.
Okay, so it's a traffic cop for 4K video, and it's managing 8 channels of audio without melting down. The physical form factor must be pretty important.
If it's doing all this, is it like a massive desktop tower?
No, that's the physical genius of it. It's this incredibly compact, rugged piece of metal. It's small enough to mount directly onto a handheld camera rig or just tuck behind a monitor, which makes sense. Because film sets are totally chaotic environments. Gear is constantly getting banged around.
Exactly. And to survive that chaos, it features a locking power connector. You twist it into place so it won't abruptly lose power if someone inevitably trips over a wire.
And the power source itself is really clever, too. The source is mentioned, it offers a P-tap cable option.
Right, which is a lifesaver. Instead of hunting around for a wall outlet in the middle of a remote shoot, the operator can just plug this converter straight into the high-capacity battery bricks they're already wearing on their camera rig.
That is so smart. Oh, and for the setup side of things, AJA includes their free mini config USB software.
Yeah, so instead of squinting at tiny physical dip switches on the box, you just plug into a laptop. You get this clean graphical interface to change settings or easily update the firmware.
It really seems like the whole device is engineered just to make the technology disappear. It operates as this secret bridge, letting incredibly affordable lightweight action and mirrorless cameras play seamlessly in million-dollar professional broadcast arenas.
It really does. It completely bridges the gap.
Well, as consumer cameras continue to shoot in incredibly high resolutions, here's a provocative thought for you to ponder. Will the line between amateur and professional soon be defined entirely by the tiny, invisible converter boxes sitting between the gear? Something to think about the next time you see an impossibly tight cinematic shot on live TV. There might just be a little UN translator working overtime right behind the lens.